Having more than 25 years of experience in the construction industry, Bryce, how do you and McCreaney Construction go about risk management?
Risk management is something that commercial construction companies deal with every day.
Yep.
I don't believe that any commercial construction company is adequately compensated for the risk we take.
I don't think so too, but
yeah. But first of all, the workforce. You have to have key people in key positions to deal with the commercial risk, then the delivery risk. Once
hey,
again,
can I actually ask you something?
Yeah.
Are you a Gemini?
No.
No, sorry. It's just everything works in two halves with you. That's a common theme I'm seeing.
Oh yeah, no. But it's just that commercial construction companies, as I say, you have a clear split.
Yeah.
And in our company,
And I can clearly see that. In your head, there's a clear split.
That's right.
There's the guys that deal with the paper. There's the guys that deal with the steel and concrete.
That's right.
It's as simple as that, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, right.
And it's a struggle to do both roles. Some people can.
Yeah.
Some people can, but there's very few people can. And essentially, in a construction company the size of ours, you'd struggle to do both roles.
I reckon it is two different skill set.
Exactly.
Sorry, let's just jump back into risk management.
Risk management, yep.
Risk management.
Oh, McCreaney Commercial Construction, I think the first thing that I would say around risk is we stick to our knitting. We stick and try and stay within the bracket of commercial construction that we do well in, and our
Which is?
industrial commercial construction,
Yeah.
as opposed to residential,
Don't build
hospitality,
apartments,
etc.
Yeah.
From our labourers right through to our directors, we're well schooled in completing those type of projects and do it very, very successfully. So stick to your knitting.
Yep.
A number of commercial construction companies in recent times have not done that, and they've failed.
Interesting. Yep.
It's a risky business out there.
Yeah. So stick to what you're really good at is what you're saying to manage your risk.
Mm-hmm.
But within that portfolio projects, yeah, you're going to have projects that are classified as high risk projects and low risk projects. If you take on 3 high risk projects and 2 of them fail, you're bust, aren't you?
Yes, and so actually you've raised a good point there. I mean, one of the things that we do look at is ensuring we limit our vertical construction projects.
Right.
Vertical construction is riskier than horizontal construction. When
you say vertical and horizontal, which will be real clear, so you're talking about a 1-floor warehouse as opposed to a multi-story car park or...
Correct.
Yeah, okay. Because infrastructure could mean,
yes.
It could mean roads, rails, bridges as well.
No. We don't do that sort of work,
No.
unfortunately. Once again, it's around the number of key people you have in your company that you can put on those high risk projects.
Yeah.
We employ around 15 site managers, and
Right.
They're broken up into 3 groups.
Yeah.
And there's 5 site managers that we could put on a project that we would consider risky and of a vertical construction nature.
Yep.
So we're limited to the number of projects we can take on in that sphere. And so, once again, sticking to your knitting.
Yep.
And so, from a construction point of view, we need a wide range of projects, from simple to seriously complex, to be able to continue with an adequate turnover, to pay for our overheads and make a bit of profit along the way.
But also it's a balancing act of ensuring that you keep your 15 site managers employed while taking on projects that they're capable of delivering.
The number of commercial...
All while making a margin.
Yes. The number of commercial construction companies in Auckland that have failed because of high turnover of staff is significant.
Yeah, that problem's only getting worse now because a lot of the workforce is packing up and leaving New Zealand now, aren't they?
They are.
Unfortunately, they are.
The opportunities in Australia for people in the construction industry are quite huge compared to...
Not just Australia, Bryce. I've actually had recent stories of people going to Saudi to work on the line. Have you heard of that project?
No, I haven't.
It's a multi-billion-dollar project where they're going to build a vertical city for 20 odd kilometers long.
Wow.
Wow. It's crazy, man. Like, what's going on in this world of construction outside New Zealand is just mental. Like, a lot of people are going to Dubai. A lot of people are going to Qatar, where they're building huge developments. I'm not talking 100 houses are huge. I'm talking 10,000 houses is huge. Right. And
yeah, I mean, one of the things we talked about previously was the future workforce, and the future workforce from Macrini is typically male. I have to say on the delivery side, not so much on the commercial side, but is male, but married with 2 kids and a mortgage. So we've got them. They can't go anywhere.
Married with 2 kids
and a mortgage.
Man, you've just fucking described me. I'm making an ideal employee, though.
You're not going to Saudi Arabia.
I'm not going to Saudi Arabia. Fair enough. But, okay.
So the other thing...
So why wouldn't you have a woman site manager?
Literally, the opportunity hasn't arisen. We recently had an apprentice. She was someone that I actually earmarked for a site management role.
Yep.
And if an apprentice starts with us when they're 18, by the time they're 28, 29, 10 years they have to commit.
Yeah, right.
To that role.
Yep.
They're in a position to move into a junior site management role.
Yep.
Unfortunately for personal and family reasons, she moved out of Auckland. And
right.
and we lost her basically to. She's still in the industry, but she's just moved out of Auckland.
Yeah.
I've got to say, from a delivery side, it is something that construction companies have got to basically embrace that diversity. We have a number of females, if I can say that on this podcast.
No, you can say whatever you want.
that are doing a number of different roles within the construction role, if you like, on site, and I am finding that they can be more. Jesus, what's the word for it?
Risk averse?
No, they're more lateral thinkers.
Right.
So I am finding that they are more laterally thinking people and can pick up more than one role at one time. So that once again, they cover a larger number of areas on the site.
Yeah.
So more and more, from Macrini Commercial Construction's point of view, they've, I suppose, broken in, and we've found it positive, and we're embracing it and moving forward with it.
So there you go, for all the women that want to get into construction, give Bryce a call.
Correct.
Yeah.
But getting back to the original question around around risk,
we went on a tangent there.
Yeah, we did a little bit. Sorry about that. So you do want to stick to your knitting, and your workforce should determine the number of risky projects that you take on.
Yeah.
And you never want to get to the situation where you're overcommitted. As soon as you get overcommitted, you're not going to deliver.
Yeah.
You're going to.
Your resources are spread thin.
Exactly. You're going to move away from being the next person that gets the next job, etc., etc., etc. You have to prepare for a rainy day too. It's coming.
Yep.
Those construction companies that are not staying commercially and financially stable and strong will falter. They'll fail.
Yeah. And the more construction companies that go broke is really, really bad for our industry, isn't it?
That's right.
Because then there's a subcontract pool that's left hanging. There's another main construction company that's now got to take on that risk. There's a client who's in a world of pain. Yeah.
It affects everyone, and it's a number of people that aren't in the commercial construction industry say to me, "Oh, it's great, so-and-so's gone broke, isn't it? You don't have to compete with them anymore." And I said, no, it's
not at all.
It's not at all.
Every time I read one of those stories, it's just heartbreaking. It's, yeah.
Exactly. And hey, unfortunately, from our point of view, I am noticing the legal bills on my overhead schedule have pretty much every year increased by 30 to 40%.
Wow. Really?
And essentially we're having more and more on the commercial side to take legal advice around the contract conditions that are being presented to us. Well, not so much the standard conditions, but the special conditions that change the standard conditions. And we're quite often needing legal advice on that.
Yeah. I thought you were the site guy, not the contract guy.
Oh, at the end of the day...
Hey, why are you looking at the lawyer's numbers, eh?
Well, I mean, as I say, on the delivery side, I look at that, sure, but the guys on the commercial side, as I say, are taking more and more legal advice to ensure that their understanding of the contract conditions are not misinterpreted. And it really is important that you understand what you're signing up to, because it's one of your biggest risks.
Yeah, 100%. Absolutely.